let's get started. Okay, so just find a comfortable seated position. You might have your legs crossed or straight out in front of you if you prefer. Oh yeah, we go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Come and show everyone your, yeah, there we go. Not doing that one yet. So just find a nice tall seat, find length through the spine, get the shoulders a roll up, back and down, maybe do 2 or 3 of these, just release any tension in the shoulders. And take a big inhale, squeeze the shoulders up, squeeze the face, and exhale, drop everything away, let it go. You might do that a couple of times. Inhale, squeezing in, exhale, drop it all away. And then find some length in the spine. You might just close the eyes for a few moments, just allowing the body to settle into your seated position. And just noticing how you're feeling this morning, whether the mind is busy, whether there's any parts of the body that are talking to you. And then just tuning into your breath. So just noticing your breath this morning, how it feels. And then we'll just take a little moment to think about getting that breath, travelling it down into the belly. So inhale, belly rising, filling up. And as you exhale, the belly falls back in towards the spine. You might just gently have the hand over the lower belly, just helping that feeling of pressing inwards as you exhale. So inhale, belly rises, fills up. And then exhale, belly falls back in towards the spine. Trying to keep the chest and rib cage relaxed, nothing there, all into the belly. And then just taking your right hand, and you're just going to use the first 2 fingers like as if you're shooting a gun, which sounds very un-yogery, but those first 2 fingers up to the sky, thumb, release. So just bring those first 2 fingers into that space between your eyebrows, and your thumb and your ring finger will be the 2 fingers that help to block each nostril. So you're going to start by blocking the right nostril. Just breathe in and out of the left nostril for a few breaths. Still trying to get the breath into the belly. So inhale, belly rising. Exhale, belly falling. So just noticing that left nostril breath. So it can be cooling. It's our feminine energy on that left side, our nurturing energy, creative energy. And then just blocking the left nostril, breathing in and out just to the right. So release the thumb. Just take a few breaths into that right nostril, out to that right nostril. This is our masculine energy, so we might feel more heat, or that kind of, it's actually the sun and the moon. We've got the moon on the left, sun on the right. Masculine energy is very much doing, action. So then going back to the left, so we're going to inhale through the left, blocking the right nostril. Switch ring finger and thumb, exhale through the right. And then inhale back through the right. And exhale through the left. So we get this inhale left, exhale right, back in through the right, and exhale through the left. So just finding that alternate breath for a few rounds. Very calming and relaxing breath. And then when you exhale from your left hand side next time, just release the hand, release the breath. And just find a couple of rounds of that belly breath again, in through nose, filling up belly, out through mouth, relaxing, letting go. So we'll just take a little bit of stretch through the neck. So just start to bring the chin down to the chest, just rounding just the chin to chest, and then lifting and looking up and down. So exhale as you come down, inhale as you lift the head. And then just interlace the hands facing behind the neck, and as you come down this time, you're going to just gently add that little overpressure, bringing elbows towards one another. And then as you inhale, lift and look up, you can just support the back of the head, elbows wide. So exhale, just that chin to chest, keep the spine long for now. And then inhale, lift and look up. And then come back to the center, keep the elbows where they are, just drop one elbow down, lift the other elbow up and over, finding a little side bend. Make sure you keep breathing here, not holding your breath at any point. Inhale, back to center, exhale, over to the other side. So keep those elbows nice and wide if you can. Try not to collapse forwards, really get that side bend going. And then inhale, back to center. Just release the arms, imagine you're stretching, waking up, arms reach around behind, interlace the hands, open through the chest, little stretch and lift through the collarbones. And then release the arms. And just roll over the knees, come to all fours. Oh, I hit my knee yesterday on the bath. I knew this was going to hurt. So just finding all fours, get those knees underneath the hips. So just start to push the floor away round through the spine, tuck the chin into the chest, tuck the tailbone under, and then lift through the chin and chest, opening the collarbones and lift the tailbone up to the sky. So exhale as you round, push the floor away, so a cat-cow movement. Inhale as you lift the collarbones, lift the tailbone. Just move between the two, just find your breath, your rhythm here. So pushing the floor away as you exhale. Inhale, lift and look up. And then as you come back to the center this time, just find that nice neutral spine, that kind of flat back position. And then looking over one shoulder, bring the same hip to the same side. So we're just trying to check out our butt on each side. Inhale to one and the other, and then exhale one and then the other. So we get that nice slow breath still, but slow movement. And then we're going to combine both movements. So don't think too much, just head in one direction, circling, tailbone in the opposite direction, circling. So just find that nice full figure of eight for the spine. If you're not sure, just wriggle. If you've got the figure of eights, swap directions for the head and tailbone. So they're going in the opposite direction now. Nice. Oh, click in the back, get everything moving. Good, and then just come back to center. Nice, so just find that flat back for a moment, let the eye gaze settle just for a second. Just bring the left hand so it's just in front of the wrist, so we've got a bit of space. No, that is your wrist and shoulder. Wrist in front of shoulder. Peel the right arm up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, post that arm through and underneath, dynamic eye of the needle. So we're coming back up as we inhale. Exhale, post it through and underneath. One more time, inhaling as you lift. Exhale, post it through and pause in your twist here. So let the head rest, let the arm rest on the ground. Just shuffle the weight towards the right side of your mat, pressing into the left hand gently. Find your breath. Press into that left hand, come back to center. So the right wrist is just in front of the right shoulder. Peel the left arm up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, post it through and underneath. Inhale as we lift. Exhale, post it through and underneath. One more time as we inhale, coming up. Exhale, post it through and under and pause and rest onto the ground there. Press that right hand into the mat, shuffle the weight towards the left side, get that lovely upper back stretch and twist. And then press into that right hand, come back to center and tuck the toes under, just start to spread the fingertips nice and wide. Lift the hips up and back and just walk your way into that first down dog. So you're pedaling the heels, keeping the legs moving, maybe a little wriggle of the hips side to side, let the head dangle heavy. So just walking in that down dog, good. So press the hips up and back. Hi, Bobby. Have a little pedal there. Nice. And then find some stillness. So really press the hips up and back and away from you. Really try and wrap the shoulder blades around the outsides of the rib cage. So we're separating the shoulder blades away from one another. And press into the underside of the knuckles. Really press them into the floor. Find your breath. into that belly, filling up, exhale. Letting go, maybe just nod the head yes or no, making sure the neck is relaxed. And then look between the hands, bend the knees. You might walk, step or jump the feet to the hands. Come to a nice long halfway lift, flat back. So fingertips might be on the floor or hands on the shins, soft through the knees. Make sure you can spread your toes and then exhale, forward fold. Just let the head dangle heavy for a moment. Inhale, start to sweep the arms wide, lift through the chest. As you come up, arms come overhead, pressing them together gently overhead. Extended mountain. And then exhale, sweep the arms round, release, and find mountain pose. So just spread the toes, make sure the big toes are close or touching and the rest of the toes can be really spread wide. Just lift through the arches a little bit, a little gap between your heels. Squeeze the bottom, a little softness into the knees, draw the shoulders back and those palms can be wide so the chest is open and we find length through the spine. Lovely, so just find that long, tall spine. You might close your eyes here and just tune into the feeling of being tall and steady in your mountain pose, and you might find that you're actually swaying or there's little micro movements. But see if you can find all four corners of both feet and keep them grounded and the weight even, and don't worry if you are kind of swaying or circling or transferring some of that weight. So gently blink open the eyes, take a big inhale, sweep the arms up, palms touch overhead, and as you exhale, tip forwards, diving into that forward fold. Inhale, come to a long flat back, and exhale, forward fold. So you might walk, step, if you're going to jump, but land in chaturanga, otherwise step back to plank, then hover down. You might drop your knees if you need to, elbows in nice and close to rib cage. Inhale, peel the chest as high as you want to lift for cobra or up dog if you feel ready. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, down dog. So just hang that head heavy in your down dog. Pressing those hips away. So our down dog becomes the restful moment in our sun salutation. And look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or maybe jump those feet to the hands. Nice, come to that long flat back halfway lift. And then drop the head down, forward fold. Sweep the arms, widen up, palms touch overhead. Squeeze the bottom, lift through the chest. And release the arms. Beautiful. We'll go again. Inhale. Arms up. Exhale, dive and tip from the hips into forward fold. Inhale, long flat back, fingertips on floor, hands on shins. Exhale, fold it down. Walk, step, back to plank or jump and keep those elbows bent as you land in chaturanga. Hover down from plank. You might flip the toes, coming to up dog, knees lifted or cobra, keep those knees down and press the hips back to down dog. So really try and lengthen the heels towards the floor, they don't need to be touching at all. Spread those shoulder blades away from one another, let the head be heavy. One more breath here. Look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands, come to that halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold, drop the head, sweep the arms, widen up, palms touch overhead. And exhale, release the arms. Good, so Surya Namaskar we are, sun salutation B, sitting into our chair. So just check you can see your toes in front of your knees. If you feel your bottom sticking out, just tuck that tailbone under, draw the belly in gently, reach the arms forwards or all the way up if that feels okay. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, tip forwards into your forward fold, let the head dangle. Inhale, long flat back as you lift through the chest, and exhale, forward fold. So walking or stepping back to plank or jump and land in chaturanga or plank and hover down through chaturanga, knees lifted or lowered. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back to down dog. So left foot turns 45 degrees, bring the right foot through. You might give it some help to get to the front of the mat if you need to. Stepping that right foot through to land. And sweep the arms up and sink into that right knee. Lovely. And just make sure you're square to the front edge of your mats. Nice. Keep finding that breath sinking into the right knee. Warrior one. One more breath here. Nice. And then as you float those hands down to frame the front foot, step it back to plank. You might drop the knees as you hover down, elbows come close to the rib cage. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back to down dog. So right foot, turns 45 degrees, step the left foot through. Give it some help to get to the front of the mat if you need. Press into those feet, sweep the arms up and sink into that left knee. Lovely. And again, shoulders and hips nice and square to the front edges of your mat. And if you find that I always end up in a back bend here, my ribs are sticking out, so you can just gently think about kind of pulling the rib cage down, slightly flattening through the front body. Lovely, one more breath. And as we come down, frame that front foot, step it back. And exhale as you hover down, elbows in close. Baby cobra or up dog, the knees and shins lifted. And press back to down dog and find that moment of rest and breath. If you ever need to come to child's pose, you can just rest in child's pose. Should start to feel that heat rising in the body, and as we breathe into the belly, we're stoking that fire in our belly, warming the body. One more breath here. Look between the hands, bend the knees, walk, step or jump the feet. See the hands, come to the halfway, lift long flat back. And exhale, forward fold, let the head drop. So sit the bottom back, sweep the arms either forwards or all the way up, tuck that tailbone under, sitting into your chair. So we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. So draw the shoulders down the back of the body. Find length through the neck. You might look up if it feels okay to do so. Squeeze the knees together strong. One more breath. Brilliant. And release the legs, release the arms, and give those shoulders a roll. So feet come to hip distance apart. Spread the rest of the toes again. And then bring those hands around, so fingertips pointing down. Squeezing the elbows together behind you, really opening through that chest. And as you do that, squeeze the bottom to press the hips forwards, and then lift the chest to the sky. We get that lovely back bend without hopefully any discomfort in the lower back. Really opening through the front of the body. And then as you tip from the hips, dive into that forward fold again. And this time we're going to use those peace fingers, first two fingers, hook them on the inside of the thumb, make a little circle. Sorry, about around the big toe, make a little circle with your thumb. If you can't reach your toes, just let the hands dangle. You might just grab opposite elbow and dangle there. If you've got the toes, just drawing the elbows wide, you're trying to draw your chin towards that gap between your shins. And find your breath. So in through nose, belly filling up like a balloon. Exhale, let the belly drop back in towards the spine. In through nose, out through mouth. You might whoosh and just purse the lips as you exhale. Let that whooshing sound release the breath. So untuck fingers and toes. Just come up to that flat back, so gently press into the shins. Again, knees stay soft, we're not locking out the legs. Long through the crown of the head. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, we're folding one more time. Belly towards thighs, drop the head down. So again, you might just dangle, you might grab opposite elbows here. Or we're going to bring the palms of the hands under the soles of the feet. Now everyone can get that whole palm of the hand under the foot and the back of the hand on the floor. If you bend your knees, you might need to really bend. And drop the head down, and then you can straighten the legs and find some length into the backs of the legs. Literally my favourite stretch ever. It just opens that upper back. We're really kind of using that foot on the hand to traction and open that upper back. Let the head be heavy. Again, you might nod yes or no, making sure the neck is completely relaxed. One more breath here. Untuck the fingers and toes, just release. Walk up just to that halfway flat back. You might walk the hands up the legs, just keep the spine long as you uncurl back up to standing. And draw those shoulders back, just step the feet in. Give the arms a little shake if they need. Nice. So we're going to come to triangle pose. So right foot, toes pointing to the front of your mat. So kind of 3/4 length step back with the left foot. And just turn the toes of the left foot slightly in. Then you're going to open out your chest and shoulders and your hips to the long edge of your mats. So arms can be long. Send the left hip backwards, tipping as you reach forwards over that front leg, and then you can just land the hand, and it might be somewhere near the knee. This is still triangle, or we can slide it further down, but we're keeping everything stacked in line. So imagine your toast in the toaster and you're not touching either side with your bottom or your shoulders, everything's staying in line. Beautiful, guys. Really nice. So you might want to look up, and if you do, look down first, lift your left ear to the sky first, and then twist your head. And that just keeps that neck nice and long and hopefully doesn't cause any discomfort there. You might stay looking down to that bottom hand. One more breath here. Use that top arm, really reach yourself back up through center, and then we'll just change the feet by pivoting, turning the right foot in, left foot becomes our front foot facing the back of your mat. Keep everything nice and open to the long edge of your mat. Send the right hip backwards this time, tip forwards over that front leg, and lengthen the arms, stack them in line. Beautiful. And again, if we're looking up, we look down first, use that right ear to lift the ear to the sky, and then rotate the head, keeping the neck long. And you can look to the thumb on that top hand or the thumb on the bottom hand. So we fix our eye gaze, helping us stay steady. Press into those feet, lift that right arm back up to center, and then pivot the feet back round to the front of the mat. Big step back in, and we're in mountain pose. Good. So we're going to revolve our triangle. So the right foot stays forwards this time, left foot steps back, but keep the hips and shoulders square to your front edge of your mats. So you're keeping nice and square on. So reach the left arm up. As you tip forwards, keep the spine nice and long, reaching, and then take that hand on the outside of the right leg. And that might be enough, but we're not really twisted here. So we're going to twist towards that right leg, peeling the right arm up and back. So the hand might stay on the lower back, or it might reach up to the sky for that full revolved triangle. You might look to that right side with the eye gaze if it feels comfortable, or keep the eye gaze down if you feel a bit wobbly. Press into those feet there, your stability. Good, keep breathing. Beautiful, one more breath. So we're going to windmill out of this, so turn towards the left, just cartwheel the arms round. Twist to the opposite side, so you pivot on the feet, left foot becomes your front foot, right foot slightly turned out. So shoulders and hips square to that now front edge of your mat. Reach the right arm up, tip forwards long, press both hip bones back evenly, really reach forwards with that right hand, take it on the outside of the left leg. And that might be enough, or we're twisting and turning that your chest towards the left. Good, and keep the left hand maybe just on the lower back, or reach it to the sky if it feels good to open out the wingspan. Nice, keep pressing the hips backwards, keep pressing into the feet. Soft bend in that front knee if you need. One more breath. Good, unraveling, cartwheel back open, twist, pivot on the feet, big step back into the front of your mat. Nice, revolved triangle. So so right foot stays forward this time, really long step back with the left leg, and again just a slight turn in of the toes, and again we're open to the long edge, so we're really chest and the hips open to the long edge of our mat. Sink in over that right knee, so we're in our warrior two. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, reach forwards, and you can land the elbow to the knee, left bicep to left ear, so we find our extended side angle. You can see that long line between my left hand and my left foot down the left side of the body. We're really reaching, and if you're resting on the knee, just press into the knee so that you get space between your ear and your shoulder. Beautiful. And you might slide that hand down if you want a little bit more. Starts to get into those legs more. Good, keep peeling the left shoulder back. You might look for a bind here, so left arm can wrap behind the lower back, and that might be a little half bind. You might bring that right arm, shoulder towards the knee, up and underneath. If you're not sure, I'll have to turn around. So you can see. That's what it looks like from behind. One more breath wherever you are. So if you've got the bind, release carefully, come back up through center, and then we'll pivot the feet round. So left foot becomes our front foot, right foot just slightly turned in, arms long, and sink into that left knee. Reach forwards over the knee, but land the elbow to the thigh, right bicep to right ear, extended side angle. We might stay there, or we again might find the right arm wrapping around behind for a little half bind. Left arm might slide down to work a little harder, that might be where we stay. Or we might bring that left arm up and under. That's it, Tats. Yep, that's it. Yep. Good. Keep peeling that right shoulder back. Keep breathing. If you've got the bind, release the bind. Take a big inhale, reach back up to centre. And then just turn the toes so that they're facing the long edge of your mat. So they might be just facing forwards or just slightly in and heels slightly wide at a bit of an angle. Peel the chest back open through the collarbones, elbows behind, little squeeze. And as you exhale, tip from the hips and land the hands down between your legs. And if you can't quite reach, grab a pillow or a book or something to just prop the hands onto if you need, or you can grab opposite elbow and let the head dangle. But if the hands are on the ground or on a prop, just bring your elbows towards one another, 90 degrees so the elbows are drawing that head into the centre line of the body. It doesn't matter if that's not exactly where it is. So really trying to actively use that upper back to pull the head down. Hips are lifting to the sky, length through the back of the legs. And we're finding that breath. Big inhales, long sighing exhales. Make sure there's weight through the fronts of the feet, not just into the heels. Backs of legs getting a lovely or not so lovely stretch, as long as it's not pain. Might be uncomfortable, just find that breath. And then gently walk round to the right leg. You're just almost going to hug that leg towards you and draw your chin towards the right shin. So we're just pulling the leg towards the head towards the leg. Try and keep the hips square. They might want to shuffle and shift. Carefully release back through centre. Let that head dangle down. Walk over to the left leg, pulling left hand behind the leg, right hand around the front of the shin. Just drawing yourself towards. Keep finding the breath. Back to centre, let the head dangle. You might just let the arms flop or reach them through and behind, trying to draw that head down a little bit further. Just nod the head yes or no. Completely relax through the neck. And then press the hands into the centre, lift up through a flat back, so keep the spine long for a moment. The hands might come to the hips as we keep the spine long, lift through the head and chest, coming back up. Reverse, sort of tipping from the hips as you come back up. So you might want to jump your feet in. We have been there a little while, so you might not want to jump your feet and just kind of walk them back in gently and release the legs. Give them a little shake out when you come back to centre. So we're going to find a little bit of balance. So grounding through the left foot, spread the toes, just really find that kind of grounded left foot. And if the hip feels like it's out to the side, really draw it in and find a long line along that left side of the body. Peel right knee up to the chest, give it a big hug. Lift nice and tall. So you might just choose to stay here. You might use your sofa or wall if you need help balancing. Then we're going to start to take the leg wide. So keep hold with the right hand. Reach the left hand out to the side to counterbalance. Good. Keep breathing. Keep lifting tall. So we're going to bring the leg back to centre. Keep the toes engaged through the leg, reach the other arm wide and start to extend the leg out in front. You might have the hands on the hips if you need, squeezing through the thigh, lifting the toes, breathe, 3, 2, and release the leg and just give it a little gentle massage, slap a little, shake out anything that releases it and shake out the standing leg, just circle into the toes. So coming onto the right foot, spread the right toes, ground into the foot, hips squeezing into that long line, lift tall as you bring the left knee up to the chest. You might point the toes or you might flex the foot, engaging the whole foot. And then just start to take right arm wide to counterbalance as the left leg comes out to the left. Keep squeezing that right glute, help you stay stable. So as you come back to centre, see if you can release, arms might stay wide or come to the hips as you press that heel away towards me. Yes. Breathe, squeeze the thigh, 3, 2, and release, and just give that front of thigh a little gentle release, little shake out of ankles or legs, circle the ankle of the standing foot. So one more balance, just coming onto that left foot. So right leg turns out, we're coming to our tree pose. So we might stay here, we might bring the foot underneath the knee, we might lift it a little higher, but anywhere apart from the knee joint, we don't want to press the ankle or heel into the knee joint. So above or below. Keep lifting to any knees. You want to stay lower if your knees don't like being in this full flexion. Good. So lifting tall, hands can stay low, or maybe bring the hands to heart center just to kind of center you and ground you, and you might just look down a couple of meters in front, or if you want to challenge yourself, you can lift your eye gaze. If you've got room, you might spread your arms up and wide. And tree pose, we might be moving. It's absolutely fine if we're kind of swaying and moving. Trees don't stay dead still, do they? They're still stable and grounded. One more breath. Nice, and then carefully release the leg and shake out the standing leg or circle the ankle, and then coming to the other side. So grounding through that right leg, turn the left leg out. Again, maybe low or just up underneath the knee or a little bit higher, pressing into the inner thigh. Keep lifting tall through the chest, crown of head tall. Find your breath. That might be where you stay. You might lift the eye gaze to challenge your balance if you need a little more challenge. You might lift the arms, that also challenges your balance. You might be a tree in the wind, moving, wherever you are. Keep the breath and release the leg and just shake out ankles and feet, let them go. Oh, someone's joining Fiona. So just coming to the front of the mat. And just find a big inhale, sweep the arms up, palms touch overhead, and as you exhale, dive forwards, tipping from your hips into your forward fold. Let the head dangle low. Inhale, come to the long flat back, and as you exhale, fold all the way back down. So you might walk, step back to plank, or jump back to chaturanga, or step back and hover down from there, elbows in nice and close. And when you get to the floor, just take a little baby cobra. Keep the thighs low and then roll the body back down onto the mats. So just going to take a little twist here. So straighten out the left arm at 90 degrees, shoulder 90 degrees to your body. Press that right hand into the floor and roll the right leg up and over. So the left side of the head will end up resting on the ground. So this leg might be dangling in the air, that's okay. Might be landed on the floor behind you. So we're trying to stretch that left chest and shoulder. Little spinal twist, something might have clipped and clonked as you twisted. Perfectly normal. So gently roll back onto your belly. Let that right arm come out at 90 degrees. Left hand presses into the floor. Left leg goes up and over. Rest the right side of the head down. So again, we get that shoulder, chest and stretch opening through that side of that right front shoulder. You might feel that left front side of the body having a nice stretch. And then gently roll onto your belly again. So we're just going to work. So when we do Ashtanga, it doesn't really do low, it does a lot of forward folds and not much back bending. So we're just going to work into the back a little bit. So just bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, propping yourself up. So your hands can be rested on the floor, or they might be in fists. It's up to you. And then if you sort of feel like your ears and your shoulders are really close, press into the forearms and really extend the crown of the head to almost towards the sky. We're looking kind of down in front of the hands to keep the neck neutral. And then pull the belly in away from the floor by squeezing the bottom and lifting the belly. So just the pelvic bone will be kind of in touch with the floor. If this is too much, lie on your front with your head on your hands, and we're still in a little bit of back extension. Any bad backs, Fiona? But otherwise stay as you are, if this feels okay. And then you might want to go a bit further. So if you're happy here, stay here. You might bring the hands a little bit wider, pressing into the hands, lifting a little bit higher, still squeezing the bottom to protect the lower back, coming more up into that kind of seal pose. Just keep breathing, but squeezing the bottom. And then as we lower down, just roll the belly onto the floor. Bring the elbows nice and wide at 90 degrees. Bring the right cheek to the floor and slide the left knee up as if it could come towards your elbow. It doesn't need to be that close, but... And just rest the right side of the face down. We're in our fallen tree. It's a bit like tree pose, but we're on the floor. And just slow the breath down for a moment. And then just straightening out the body again. So you might take those cobras or seals like we just did, or if you want to work a little bit this time, reach the hands behind, interlace the hands by the lower back, As you lift through the chest, squeeze the bottom and lift, really working into those back muscles to lift your chest away from the floor. Oh, the sun has come out. You might even float those feet away from the floor, but if that's all too much, do one or the other. You might just lift the legs or you just lift the chest. Or you might just prop the hands underneath as you did with your cobra before. Keep breathing. So we're going to slowly release the arms, lower the body back down. Elbows come wide at 90 degrees. Right knee slides up, left cheek rests. We're in our fallen tree. Just allowing the back to relax. Just find a breath into the belly. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Sunlight came. One more breath here. And then just straightening out the body one more time. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Draw the chest back. Hands almost actually in line with the chest, so a little bit further back than you might think. Tuck the toes underneath. And we're going to lift up through the chest. Press the hips up and back. And find down dog just for a minute. Let the head dangle there. So turn the left foot out, just 45 degrees. Step the right foot through to land at the front of the mats. And press into those feet and lift the arms up. We're coming back to that warrior one as we were in our sun salutation at the beginning. Really sink into that right knee. And again, chest and shoulders nice and square to that front edge. Draw the shoulders down the back of the body so they're away from the ears. Keep finding your breath. So we're going to pivot on the feet. So if you need to, bring the hands down, but if we can keep the arms up, we're going to pivot the feet round. So we twist all the way around. Left foot becomes our front foot, right foot slightly turned out. Sink into left knee. We're in warrior one. On the other side. Oh, hi, Pops. Oh, you've seen the sun. Find your breath. And then we're going to bring that right arm back as we turn out to the long edge of our mat. So you might have to step the right foot back slightly and sink into the left knee still. So we're in warrior two, but over that left knee. Chest and shoulders open to the long edge. That's it, guys. Perfect hats. I know you're facing away. You got it. Bend that left knee a little bit more. That's it. Breathe. Reach the arms up as you straighten the left leg. Turn the left toes in. Turn the right toes to the front edge of your mat. And sink into the right knee. Release the arms down. Warrior two on the other side. Yes, beautiful. Keep breathing. Our warrior series. One more breath. Then we're going to windmill the hands over that right leg, lifting the left heel. Press that right foot back to find plank and hover down from here. You might drop your knees, you might not. As you hover down, elbows in close. Lift through the chest, cobra or up dog. Press the hips up and back to down dog. Nice. So you might just sit your bottom down and swing your legs round. If you know me, you know I love a bunny hop, so you might take little tiny bunny hops, lifting the feet away from the floor, little ones or big ones, or you might jump your feet to your hands or through your hands. Nice. And bring your bottom onto the ground when you get there. Nice. So straighten out those legs. Just try and remove any fleshy parts, really ground through the sit bones. Pull the toes back. Lift nice and tall and sit nice and tall with those arms. They might just be rested by your side. Shoulders down and back, away from the ears. Really spread the toes, squeeze the thighs so the heels lift away from the floor. And as we lift tall, we're working the core just by sitting. So it looks like we're not doing anything much, but you'll feel that lots is going on. Find your breath. Sweep the arms up, lift nice and tall. The heels might land on the floor as you tip from the hips, fold forwards. Let those arms float down. They may just rest on the shins, they may come over the tops of the toes or somewhere in between. So just really let that exhale carry you here. With each little gentle exhale, folding further, keeping the spine long and flat. So option, if you find this really difficult, you can bring your tummy onto your thighs, hold the feet, and then you can kind of walk or slide. If you've got a sliding mat, you can slide. You can walk those feet out, trying to keep the tummy and thighs connected. Even if those legs don't stay flat, we're still getting that fold and tip from the hips and long spine and hamstrings targeted. One more breath here. So gently release the legs, just walk back up, keep that spine long. Bring the right knee into the chest with you. Give it a little squeeze in and then drop the knee wide and bring the foot to the inside of the left thigh. Again, lift tall first, tall through the spine and tip forwards as you fold. You might bring that right hand to the outside of the left side of the leg and cross the other hand over. So you might be holding on at the shins or the foot again, but we're just keeping those shoulders nice and square as we fold over that leg. And again, chin towards the shin. So we're trying to keep the flat back. Find the breath. And then gently as you walk your way back up, bring your left hand to your right knee, lift as you twist and turn, just lift tall through the crown of the head. Imagine someone pulling you up nice and tall. Back hand isn't doing too much, just maybe a little gentle pressure to help you twist a little further. One more breath. And then come back to center. So bring that left foot in front of the right. So you might just swap the legs over, or you might go into tented fingers or fists or flat hands if you can. Lift the bottom away from the floor. Kick and swap the legs. Nice. And then let that left knee drop out, foot to the inside of right thigh. Keep pulling the right toes back, squeeze through the thigh to lift the heel. Lift tall through the chest and fold forwards, crossing the arms over at the shin or the ankle or the foot. And again, use that exhale to draw you down. And just notice you might be quite different side to side. Doesn't matter, but just good to notice. I always feel like yoga can even us out, but we'll always probably have one dominant leg, one dominant side. One more breath as you keep folding over that front leg. And gently as you release the hands, just walk back up, bring your right hand to your left knee, lift as you twist. No stretchy. Oh, good girl. Keep lifting tall. One more breath. And then come back to center. Oh, I can't demonstrate anything else anymore. Okay, should we lie down and sunbathe? Is it that time? Bring the soles of your feet together. And let the legs drop wide. Use the thumbs to open the soles of the feet like a book. So really squeeze the outsides of the knees wide, lift tall again, and then you might tip forwards to feel a little bit more, elbows keeping in close to ribcage, or you can use those elbows just to gently press the knees wide as you fold forwards. So again, this time we'd land, our chest would land on our feet, our chin to the floor. If we were to get there, it doesn't matter if we're nowhere near that, we're just working on knees, maybe lower, we might be just pressing those knees a little bit wider than they already are. Hello. One more breath here in your butterfly. And then gently coming back up nice and slowly. So just bring the feet slightly wide and windscreen wiper the knees side to side. So really let those knees roll side to side. You're quite alright there, Pops. And then bring the legs out. We'll find a nice straddle sit. I'll go on the floor, Pops. You have the mat. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So legs can be nice and wide, or as close as you feel you need them. And just lift yourself and kind of tip forward so you're on the fronts of the sit bones. Not really sure where to put my legs, you're making it difficult. Lift nice and tall again through the chest and just creep forwards as you fold. And you might just be holding yourself gently in a very small tipping motion, or you might be working towards the floor with your elbows. Maybe you can lie flat down. Very jealous when someone can. Don't know why I want to be able to do that, but just allow that forward fold, tipping from the hips, breathing into those inner thighs that might be feeling it, hamstrings that might be feeling it. Use those breaths just to allow you to relax a little bit further. One more breath here. And then gently as you come back up, walk yourself back in and up carefully and just bend the knees. Give them another little windscreen wiper. You're making it easy. No, you're not. Oh. You're gonna go. and then just start to stack your shins. So you're going to bring, if you bring your left shin so it's sort of parallel to the floor, bring that right foot to the inside knee crease if it goes. If that doesn't work for you, just find an easy cross position. You don't have to do this at all. But if you can get that foot into the knee crease, then we get the shins sort of stacked in line. We get this kind of called square pose. You get your knees, and I know your hips aren't in a square, but that's the kind of idea. Again, you might ground through the sit bones, and you might just be working, knees might be up here, and that's fine. So you might be working on pressing the knees wide and just trying to get that to lengthen down and open the hips more. Lift nice and tall through the chest if you are here. Tip forwards from the hips, long through the spine as you fold, and then you'll get a little bit more stretch into that right glute or the leg that's on the top. And you might just kind of prop your chin into your hands, or you might just kind of stack your fists and rest your forehead down, just to find some length. And just kind of be able to be somewhere where you can rest and let the head dangle or be supported, so you can just breathe into, especially that right hip if it feels tight. This is a version of our lotus pose, so it's just modified to make it a little easier, less stress on knees and ankles. And then gently as you walk your way back up, just change the cross of the legs. So just bring that right shin as parallel as it can be, left foot to knee crease. If it goes, you might be working on just pressing that left knee down this time. If you're quite stacked and down, you might lift nice and tall and tip forwards to feel an increase into that stretch as you fold down. So again, you might just sort of prop the chin, it's that kind of watching TV pose, or just let the head dangle, maybe press a little pillow underneath, or prop your fists into a little stack and find your breath. One more breath here. And then gently as you press into the hands, just walk your way back up and just release the legs. You might windscreen wiper again if you need. We're going to sit nice and tall on our sit bones, squeeze the knees together, lift tall through the chest, and bring the feet so they're just off the floor. Just find that little moment of balance. You might lift the feet a little bit higher. We're trying to keep our tummy and our thighs close. We're really balancing on those sit bones. You might be able to reach and hold the outsides of the soles of the feet, really tucking the belly and thighs together. You might even hook your fingers, peace fingers, onto the big toes and press the legs wide for a real balance. Don't worry if you roll. Took me years to flatten this part of my back so I can balance on it. Keep breathing, keep lifting. Find that balance. You might even take the legs wide if you feel confident in your balance. If you roll, don't worry. Just tuck your chin to chest if you go back. Good, keep breathing. So if you can, bring the legs back to center, release with the hands. Now we're gonna roll. We're gonna tip round through that lower back so we can land on the lower back. Keep the shoulders lifted, keep the legs lifted. We're in a bit of a dish shape. Imagine we're like a dish for a bowl of soup. Keep breathing. And then let the head relax. And then let the heels relax. Press the palms of the hands away. Press the heels away. Find that full body stretch when you land. Really stretch the hands away from the feet, and then start to peel the right knee towards the chest and give it a big squeeze in towards the chest. Draw it a little bit wider as if it sort of squeeze and fit under the armpit, still drawing it up and in. And then take that right leg all the way over to the left side, so really just let it roll over. Trail the right arm behind you and let the eye gaze turn to that right hand as you twist here. So just really allowing that twist to open through the whole spine. Things might click or clonk, just allow them to release and let go. Keep finding your breath, slow and steady. And then gently unravel back to center. Let the feet be flat, knees bent. Just lift the hips and land them so the spine is flat one more time. And then straighten out the right leg, hug the left knee in, give it a big squeeze towards you. Really kind of draw it in. You might bounce gently drawing it in. And then take it just outside of the torso to come underneath the armpit or towards the armpit. And then take that left leg over to the right side, trail the left arm behind you, finding that lovely twist. Find your breath, really allow that body to open in the twist. One more breath. And then gently roll back to center. And again, lift the hips and land them flat. And bring the feet so they are hip distance apart and they're as close into the hips as they can be. But if that needs any pinching happens on the knee, just obviously bring them a bit further away from the hips. They don't need to be right in. Just tuck the chin to the chest and land the back of the head back down. Arms away from the body, shoulders away from the ears. So just setting up to come up into that bridge pose. So press the feet into the floor, squeeze through the glutes, lift the hips nice and high. And we're just going to hold into that bridge, looking down the body. We'll see the belly rise and fall here with the breath. And as we come down, we're going to roll one vertebrae at a time. So really pull the fronts of the hips towards you, tucking them in, rolling the vertebrae back down one by one. The hips will be the last thing to land. And without moving your feet, just tiny baby windscreen wipers, just baby movements of the knees side to side. Not taking too much into there. We're going to go one more time as we squeeze and lift the hips. So really squeeze and lift up, and you might bring the hands interlaced underneath and just roll onto the outside edges of the shoulders, straightening the arms out. So we get more of a back bend. You might lift onto the tiptoes if it feels okay to do so. Or you might just stay with that first version of our bridge. And if you're on your arms and chest is stretched, just peel off the shoulders, releasing the bind and roll your way back down. Heels are lowered now. Rolling one vertebrae at a time, hips land on the floor last. And just walk the feet so they are wide as your mats. And full windscreen wipers of the knees. So let them drop to the right, the head can roll to the left. And then legs to left, head rolls to the right. So get that full rocking motion side to side, just swapping legs to left and right in your own time with that gentle rhythmic rock to soothe and calm and slow the nervous system back down. Keep focusing the mind back on the breath. Belly filling up and rising like a balloon on the inhale, and then dropping, relaxing towards the spine on the exhale. In through nose, out through mouth. And if there's anything else you'd like to do just to complete your practice, maybe like a little bit of happy baby, or you might just have the knees squeezed in, a little rock across the back, or knee circles, knee hugs, anything that feels good. If you're ready to, you might just lie yourself flat completely down onto the ground for Shavasana. Or alternative options, you might bring the soles of your feet together, let the knees drop wide in a reclined butterfly, or you might have the feet wide and let the knees drop in towards one another, feet flat, knees dropping in to keep the back a little bit more in contact with the floor if that feels better for you. Traditional Shavasana, heels down, toes rolling wide, palms away from the body, palms facing up, eyes closed in that full corpse pose, like a starfish, just allowing the whole back of the body or every part of the body that's in contact with the mats to fully land here. And just knowing there is nothing left for you to do but allow your body some time to relax, to melt into the floor, to be held and supported, and just to assimilate your practice today. If your mind is wandering, just maybe focusing in on your breath, belly rising, filling up, Slowly exhaling, letting go. Every exhale a chance to release, let go of tension, let go of thoughts, patterns of thoughts. So just when you are ready, just bringing your awareness back into your body. You might wriggle your toes or wriggle your fingers. You might circle your ankles. You might circle your wrists. Just beginning to reawaken. You might start to stretch the arms overhead. Take that full body stretch. Press the heels away. And fill up the belly on a big inhale, side out, let it go. Just start to hug the knees into the chest, squeeze them, give them a big squeeze in. And just rolling onto your right hand side, just take a moment curled in a ball on your right hand side, giving yourself a big hug. And just reminding yourself of one thing that you are grateful for about you. And gently and carefully walking your way up to a seated position. You might keep your eyes closed or keep your head bowed down. You might just look down, eye gaze low. I'll just close the practice with a couple of breaths together. One om if you choose to join in or just receive that. Omming and humming is really good for our nervous system, so maybe give it a go if you feel okay to do so. So take a big deep inhale, fill up the belly, side out, let it go. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhaling to Om. Might take a big stretch of the arms overhead as you inhale. Hands down through heart center as you exhale. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day.